No matter what age your child is, you want the best for their future. What do they want to do after graduation? What career path do they want to take? These questions can be overwhelming. That's why you should ask them this question. What's your E? Seminole County Public Schools ePathway program is designed for your student to choose their own path in life from as many options as we can offer. Whether they're looking to enlist, enroll, or be employed, we're excited to help you and your child make it happen. Want them to enroll in a college or university? We'll help you find the best school for them to continue their education. Learn about grants and programs to help your child obtain their degree at a pace and a cost that works for you both. Are they looking to go straight into employment? Discover a variety of trades and skills that will propel their future. They can learn aviation maintenance, automotive repair, culinary arts, and more to hone their talents in growing industries. Is your child interested in enlistment? We'll help them find the right path of service, whether it's military, law enforcement, fire response, or EMS. They can serve the community while learning skills that will last a lifetime. What's your E? Explore options with ePathways by visiting us online at the link below.
What inspired me to get into engineering was Lego. So I started as a kid, as most kids do, working with Legos and just kind of doing your own thing, building the Lego sets, and I would often take apart my Lego sets, mix them together, and build something completely new. Then in about 4th grade, I was introduced to Lego robotics, which is where you have a actual robot that you could program, and you start with this brick, and that would feed information to Lego motors, and it would all communicate as a system, and you could do a lot of really cool robotic tasks with that. And that was really the start of me looking into engineering. The engineering I'm looking to pursue at first is mechanical engineering. This is what I'm going to go to UCF for, and this is going to be the start of my career. A mechanical engineer can really do anything. They work with a lot of thermodynamics and a lot of vibrations and really just anything that moves. So a lot of fields use mechanical engineering. I wanted to go past that and specialize into biomedical engineering, which is more along the lines of surgical robotics and medical machinery. I wanted to develop surgical robots, and with that I need to know exactly how the human body functions and how it functions with robotic systems. Essentially, I'll be able to design a system where a person will be able to communicate with a motor and hopefully improve their quality of life, whether this be through a surgical robot that a doctor is controlling or whether it's prosthetic that's motorized.
I taught Josh his freshman year. He was so good with that inventor material. He picked up on it very quickly. He was ready to jump in and help other students, which I really appreciated. And he has carried those characteristics with him as he has moved through the program. And now with his journey moving forward in bioengineering, I can't wait to see what he's going to make with his knee brace and the orthotics that he's trying to produce.
The current prosthetic I'm looking at developing is a load-bearing knee brace in which I'm going to take a motor or servo and attach that to the knee, which will enable a person to be able to push past what their muscles currently are able to do, whether that be because of muscle fatigue or osteoarthritis in the kneecap where they're not able to put a lot of pressure on their knee. Current knee braces really only work when walking. There's still a lot of pain when there's extra forces being applied to the knee, such as walking upstairs or standing up from sitting down, things you and I normally don't think about. But for someone that has severe arthritis in their knee, this is hugely painful.
The strongest advantages of project-based learning, that hands-on experience that allows you to manipulate that material, really solidifies in the brain exactly how those things work.
The thing I would say about this program where it exceeds the most is the more you use it, the more it'll benefit you.
Good evening, everyone. Today is Tuesday, September 10th, and it is 5:30 p.m. Ready to start our school board meeting. I'd like to call this meeting to order. For invocation and the pledge, Minnie Cardona, would you please go ahead and introduce our fabulous invocator?
Yes, good evening, Superintendent Beeman and board members. Tonight it is my really distinct pleasure and honor to introduce an amazing young lady, a senior from Seminole High School. She is the president of our Latinos in Action class, and just doing amazing work. So at this time, let me introduce Victoria Cardenas.
Victoria?
Good evening, Superintendent Beeman, Chair Krause, Vice Chair Sanchez, and fellow board members. My name is Victoria Cardenas, and I'm a senior in high school, as well as the current president of Latinos in Action. As you all might know, Hispanic Heritage Month runs from September 15 to October 15. It's a very special time of year where we can share and celebrate our rich, diverse cultures in Seminole County. In the previous years, students all over the district have worked hard to display their artistic talents by performing songs, popular dances from different countries, sharing delicious and traditional food, and recognizing the achievements and contributions of Hispanic leaders and heroes throughout history. At Seminole High School Latinos in Action is going to decorate the cafeteria, hallways, and posters of famous Hispanic influences who have made a positive impact on different fields, as well as sharing the culture facts of Hispanic cultures. We have volunteered at the Hispanic Outreach Festival in Sanford in previous years, and hopefully we'll be attending again this year. There we interacted with local community and showcased our culture. Throughout this month, we are organizing engagement activities at our school with games, face painting, and food tasting. We will start this by beginning this influential month by hosting a pep rally with music, photo booth, and dancing. And to conclude such a monumental month, in October, we'll be hosting a Spirit Week and a pep rally. I hope you'll be able to participate in some of these wonderful events and learn something new about Hispanic heritage. I want to thank you for the opportunity to speak this evening and for your support for all Latinos in Action classes and all Hispanic students in Seminole County. Now, please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, for liberty and justice for all. Muchas gracias.
Thank you so much. Now, before we go ahead and start, I'd like to take a moment to express my deepest condolence and thoughts and prayers that go out to all the families, children, faculty, staff, community, those that have deeply been affected by this catastrophic tragedy at Appalachia High School. To those who lost their loved ones, our hearts go out to you. In honor of them, those who wish to join me, please join me in a moment of silence. Thank you. Thank you very much. Let the record reflect that board members are in attendance, that Superintendent Beeman, School Board Attorney Carlene Cole-Palmer, and Clerk Joel Moramis are in attendance, as well as our Vice Chair Christine Krause, Member Autumn Garrick, Member Kelly Davis, and Member Amy Pennick, and myself. And Superintendent Beeman, as I know, we don't have any acknowledgments for any PTA, SAC, or Business Advisory Board. Oh, I know, but I don't have a form, but I do see Katie Murphy is here. Thank you for being here from PTA. Superintendent Beeman? Agenda modifications?
Yes, the addendum for good cause is marked on our electronic agenda by a green flag named addendum item. Board members, I am pulling item 2B, which is our World Champions update, for bringing back at a later time.
Thank you. School board members, roll call order is as followed. Member Garrick, then Vice Chair Kraus, Member Pennick, Member Davis, and then myself. I'll go in roll call order. Is there any modifications? Member Garrick?
No modifications, Chair.
Thank you.
No modifications, Chair. Thank you.
Thank you. Member Pennick?
No, ma'am.
Thank you. Member Davis? And I don't have any modifications as well. Thank you. Is there a motion to approve the agenda that is outlined?
So moved.
Right.
Second.
Any discussion? All right, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion carries unanimously. Thank you. Superintendent, do we have any presentations?
Yes, we do. We have a number. We'll get started with Ms. Brooks from Wekiva Elementary, who will be introduced by Principal Schreiner. She's our Veteran of the Month.
Thank you.
All right, good evening, everyone. I am proud Principal Keaton Schreiner at Wekiva Elementary, so welcome this evening. Thank you for allowing me to be here. I'm here to present our Veteran of the Month, Ms. Tammy Brooks. I'm going to read a little bit about her and her bio. Corporal Tammy Ann Marujo was born in San Diego, California on May 25th, 1984. She was raised in a large family where she was the second oldest of 6. Her grandfather enlisted in the Navy and a Pearl Harbor survivor of the USS Arizona. After he retired, he was able to guide her towards her bright future of joining the Marine Corps delayed entry program at the age of 17. She graduated from Hamilton High School 2 days after her 18th birthday and left for boot camp a week later on June 1st, 2002. Till this day, her favorite pastime was her 13 weeks of boot camp training that she would gladly repeat multiple times if she could. She then spent 13 weeks at Parris Island, South Carolina's recruit depot to achieve her dream of becoming a United States Marine. She spent a month at Camp Geiger, North Carolina for combat training. After combat training, she was sent to Lackland Air Force Base in Texas to train as an electrician and then to Fort Lee in Virginia to train as a parachute repair specialist. That's a pretty important job, I'd imagine. She arrived at her first duty station in Camp Pendleton, California in early 2003, where she was deployed 2 months later with the 1st Force Service Support Group to Operation Iraqi Freedom to help bring down Saddam Hussein. After returning successfully from Operation Iraqi Freedom, she was stationed in Las Pulgas Camp Pendleton with Engineer Maintenance Battalion working on equipment and helping run the company office. She would later volunteer for rigorous trainings in mountain warfare and cold weather. On her return from cold weather training, she was devastated by the death of her grandfather, who lost his battle with cancer. His death kept her from redeploying to Iraq for a second tour, and she volunteered instead for guard duty to stay close to home to help support her family. While on guard duty, she met her husband, and they decided to finish out their 4 years and serve the next 4 in Florida together in the reserves, where they got married, and she changed her last name to Brooks and had 3 beautiful children who you see up here. She went to school to become an art teacher, but discovered her love of taking care of children and found her place at Wekiva Elementary's clinic, which I am very grateful for. She does a great job with our students. So again, let's give her a round of applause for all the service she did for our country. Thank you.
All right, good evening, Superintendent Beeman and board members. Tonight I am proud to introduce 3 of our newest assistant principals for high school, and I want to start first at Lake Howell High School. Please welcome Marcella Hawkins. Marcella graduated from the University of North Florida with her bachelor's and master's in English. She then moved to Orlando and attended UCF, earning her master's degree in educational leadership in 2020. She's worked in all grade levels, including virtual school, and in addition, since 2014, she has worked for Valencia College, the East Campus, as an English professor. Previously, she joined the team at Lake Howell High School, working with Mr. Howard as the school administration manager, focusing on testing, and is grateful for this new opportunity as the assistant principal for this school year. Joining her this evening, as they come on up and take some pictures as well, come on up, family, is her sons Jack and Ethan, her husband Garrett, and she's also joined by her mom, dad, in-laws, and family friends that have always supported her career decisions along the way. Congratulations. And of course, Mr. Howard, principal over at Lake Howell High School. All right, congratulations, Marcella Hawkins. Also from Lake Howell High School, our newest assistant principal, Melissa Kimball. Ms. Kimball holds an educational specialist degree in education and Master's of Arts in counselor education. Her areas of certification include educational leadership, school counseling, and English 6 through 12. For 3 years, she taught a combination of 9th grade standard English, yearbook, journalism, and creative writing. For the past 17 years, she's worked as a school counselor, spending her entire career at Lake Howell High School, a school that she loves, and a fun fact, the school that she also graduated from. Joining her tonight is Leland Kimball, wife, and Laurel Kimball, the daughter. And joining, as we talked about earlier, Mr. Michael Howard, principal of Lake Howell High School. Congratulations, Ms. Kimball. And our next assistant principal from Lyman High School, please welcome Joanna Velasquez. Joanna completed a Bachelor of Arts in Literature and a second degree to become English as second language teacher. She had the opportunity to teach in Haiti, Puerto Rico, and Texas before moving to Florida in 2015. When she became a part of the SCPS family, she continued to seek opportunities to develop her leadership skills and decided to complete a master's degree in educational leadership. Becoming an administrator has given her the chance to expand her perspective as an educator and has allowed her to continue helping her community. Joining tonight is her spouse, Carlos Reyes, and come on up, family, as well as Max Andre, children Max Andre, Gabriella, Isabella, and Alexander. And then we have Lyman administrators Faith Cotter, assistant principal, as well as the principal of Lyman High School, Mr. Michael Hunter. Moving her here.
That. Apologize. Can you all hear me? All right. All right. It's time for our focus on our Student Achievement Hispanic Heritage Month.
Yes, ma'am.
Cardona.
Yes, good evening again, Superintendent Beekman and school board members. Tonight I'm going to give you an overview of the programs that I supervise, ESOL World Languages Dual, and another update of Hispanic Month celebration. So I want to start first, here's the outline for tonight, but I'll start with the fun facts of our demographics in Seminole County for our English language learners. I'll start with the LY, that is a code that we use in Skyward to identify the current English language learners we service in our district. And right now we have 3,820 students, which right before I came down, it has gone up. LMs, this is the code we use in Skyward too for students that have exited, and we monitor them and we provide accommodations to 980 students. And also we have our immigrant students. Currently we have 2,698 students. Another fun fact that I love the demographic, I like to do a query every 2 weeks to see where we're at. In Seminole County, currently we represent 133 different languages. These are the top 5 languages represented right now in the district. We also represent 140 different countries and U.S. territory, and I added the top 12 that are represented right now in our district. Students are coming from these countries. As you can see, we have a good representation of our Hispanic countries, but also we have Canada, Egypt, Brazil represented in the top 12. I also want to share our Access for ELs. I'm very proud of what we are doing in Seminole County to service our students. Access for ELs is our state assessment. This is an annual language proficiency assessment that all students in the state of Florida are required to take. On this assessment, we also see the levels of language proficiency where the students are at, and the results are also used as part of the ESOL, Every Student Succeeds Act. is one of the measurements used for school quality. Florida is a member of the WIDA Consortium. This is where they develop the assessments and the screeners that we use for our new students that are enrolled in the district. And WIDA stands for World Class Instructional Design and Assessment. And you can see in the map that there are many states that are part of this, the WIDA Consortium. So these are the WIDA standards, and the Access assessment does not only test the students on the basic interpersonal communication skills. It really goes into the academic vocabulary. It's not really an easy assessment. Students are tested on the social and instructional purposes, so that's one of the standards, but they're also tested on the standard for language arts, mathematics, science, and social studies. So it's also basic, but also the academic vocabulary that for a newcomer, it's a little difficult, but what we want to see is the growth that our students are making every year. These are the levels of language proficiency. We want to see our newcomers as they're entering level 1, but moving up the ladder into emerging, developing, expanding, and getting into that bridging and level 6, reaching where they have obtained language proficiency. And as we know with research, it takes really 4 to 6 years to obtain that second language. And I'm happy to report that our students are making growth. I am very proud of the results that we did on 2024. The state average for language proficiency was 14%. I'm going to stop here for a second so everyone can look. For Seminole County, for our ELs, it was 29.3%. It was one of the highest scores at the state level. I'm very proud. Every grade level made a growth. If the students have the language, they will be able to master the content area. So it's hand in hand, language and content. But very proud of the results. Our ESOL teachers have been doing an amazing job to support our students. So this is all of us working together. We provide professional learning opportunities for our ESOL teachers. We provide PD on the WIDA standards that I just mentioned, the BEST standards, small group interventions, how to meet the needs of each student, strategies that work for ELs, parent engagement activities, because we need the parents to also be engaged and support us with their child's learning, the ELA framework, benchmarks, math academic vocabulary, and we also work on data chats. How do we have those data chats with our English language learners? We, remember, a lot of our students are coming from another country. They don't understand our educational system at the beginning, so the teachers really sit down and explain that whole process to them. So our other programs are thriving too. We're doing a lot of amazing work with our world languages and dual language programs in Seminole County. We support the teachers with their curriculum standards and common assessments. We offer 6 world languages in Seminole County: American Sign Language, Spanish, French, Latin, Chinese, and Japanese. We have 9 dual language schools. We are preparing already our students for the World Languages Festival that will be on February 1st, 2025. I also want to mention that our foreign exchange program, our last student just arrived here to the United States last week. And we have students that are coming in from all over. We have students from Switzerland, from Brazil, from Japan. You name the country, we have the student in Seminole County. We also have our Family Connection Center, and I really want to thank the board and our superintendent for supporting this. Our families do go to our center for online registration. We also help them with community resources. And we started today with our first adult English classes for our ESOL families. I sent out a survey, and we had over 300 parents that responded to the survey. So we are adding classes. We will have classes every day of the week in order to support our families with the educational system, but also support them with the English language so they could help their children also at home. And as our wonderful student just mentioned, Victoria, we are getting ready in celebration of Hispanic Month. That will be through September 15th through October 15th. The state has announced their theme, honoring Hispanic contributions to Florida's success. And they also have several contests for our students. They have the essay and art contest. We have sent out already the flyer to the teachers, and I met with the department chairs earlier today, and we have students that will be participating at the state level, so hopefully we'll have a winner here with us. Many activities throughout the districts at the schools. You'll get the invites coming soon. We have our yearly Latinos in Action Youth Conference coming up on October 2nd. Our Hispanic District Celebration at the Lake Mary's Farmers Market. Everyone is invited. On October 5th, we will have music. We have a wonderful band coming out, and our students will have activities for the young ones. We also will have an art display here at the Educational Support Center. We have some Hispanic artists from the community that will be coming in and showcasing their art. Really excited about that. And we'll also have some student art displayed at the ESC lobby. And we are currently working with the United Arts. We are going to be bringing a Spanish play to our students at Seminole High School. So that is in the works. Very excited about that too. And finally, our Student Success Express bus. We talked a little bit about it this afternoon, but just sharing with everyone out there that it is out in the community. If you haven't seen the bus yet, you will see it soon. We have...
Wow, a lot going on. Anybody have any questions or comments that they would like to share? And we'll do it in roll call order first. Member Garrett?
Ms. Cardona, I just want to say thank you so much for all that you do for our students and continuing to grow the opportunities. I'm especially appreciative of the collaboration you have, not just within this within these walls and with all of the different departments, but with the families. Seeing that you have English classes for the parents is vital to their success and their success in supporting their students. So I appreciate your just your forward thinking and look forward to all those invitations and celebrating with you throughout the year.
Well, thank you for your support. And our families, they really want to get involved. They do.
I too want to thank you and your team. One thing that you mentioned early on to me was that in service to our families, for example, if the student was eligible for free and reduced lunch, that they didn't want to register over fear of whatever, and your ability to meet these families where they are, your team, and to let them know about services. We don't need anybody going hungry. And I especially love that you follow these students for 2 years after they have met their required goals, and so that we have lifelong learners. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Well, it takes a whole community, like Mrs. Beeman says, to educate a child. I love that expression. It takes all of us, but it is my privilege and my honor to work with them. They just really just want to know. And once you just hold their hand and show them, they run with it.
I thank you for building that community for these new students in our community. It's very hard to come and transition into a new space, and you do it so well and so lovingly, and so I appreciate you so very much.
Thank you.
Member Davis?
Yeah, and I'm so happy to know you. You're just such a good person in general. And then, you know, what you do for our kids is amazing.
Thank you. Well, thank you.
And I feel the same way. Your whole team, please thank them for everything that you all do day in and day out. And I look forward to celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month, and as well as Latinos in Action with the different schools, events that we tend to love to dance at. You know we'll be there, ready to go, right?
We're ready. Thank you,
Ready.
everyone. Thank you so much.
And, you know, being culturally diverse and everything that we do. And I think that, I know we talked about this last time when we were talking about assessments last meeting, but for people to realize that assessments are done in our English language. And these students are coming in not knowing our language, yet having to take a test in a language that they're not familiar with. Yet they're making leaps and bounds, and that just shows how hard our ESOL and ELL teachers work diligently with the students and how much the students work as well. So kudos to all of you for everything you do day in and day out.
Well, thank you. Kudos to our ESOL teachers. They are amazing.
They are amazing, yes. I agree.
Thank
and
you.
then with the Student Success Express bus going into the areas and helping our families navigate into Skyward and everywhere else and filling out forms, We appreciate you all so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Board members, we need a rep for the risk, CM for the risk for the Lake Mary Elementary renovation project, and I believe, Member Pennick, that's in your district. So are you?
Yes.
Okay.
And I would like to request staff to include incoming board member, just so she can attend as a public member. We are non-voting members of this, so it's not an issue to have both of us in there, but want to make sure that she's in there since she will be taking over this district if she's available.
All right, so that would be incoming board member Robin Dellinger, Dr. Dellinger, to be included on the list to, if she can make it, to be available for that.
Chair Sanchez,
Yes.
also at my last RFP, was in the middle of two. They asked that Dr. Mullins be included in the invite. If he's able, he'll
Okay.
attend. Thank you.
Perfect. Awesome, thank you. Thank you. All right, it is now time for public comments, but this is for agenda, so we'll do public comments first. I'm sorry, yes, public comments. Oh, why did I have this one first? Oh, there, we didn't do that one. So, board comments, general comments first. Member Garrick, you're more than welcome to begin.
Thank you, Chair. I did want to say thank you, Chair, for acknowledging the tragedy in Georgia. I think for anyone connected to education at all, whether you're a parent, a community member, those kinds of tragic circumstances hit us all very deeply and remind us of our North Star, which is serving students. On the hierarchy of needs, we always need to make sure that our students are taken care of. Safety comes first, and that extends beyond just physical safety. We had a workshop today, and we were talking, in additional to physical safety, making sure that we provide a mental, emotional, and social well-being to each and every one of our students. So I would like to say thank you very much, Superintendent, for reviewing some of our policies and listening to our stakeholders. We have an incredibly diverse population of students, of families, of staff, and so some of our policies, we had heard feedback throughout the community, were not quite as clear as they could be and didn't feel as supportive. So the superintendent, in conjunction with our attorney, Carlene Cole-Palmer, have been working on a safe and supportive environment law and policy reference guide. I appreciate you taking input from the board and looking forward to you furthering the development of that. I appreciate you, again, looking forward to always looking to the safety and welfare of all of our students. And thank you and anyone listening for entrusting us with the well-being and education of your students. It is a responsibility that we take very, very seriously. On that, some other items that I was able to attend this week that I think were very meaningful. We had the PTA and principals breakfast, and on that same theme of inclusivity, it was quite uplifting to see both messages given in English, Spanish, and sign language. So I really appreciate the PTA and our principals as partners on this journey. And today I had the opportunity to go to the Retired Educator Luncheon. My next door neighbor, Doris Duxbury, is celebrating her 103rd birthday, and she was being honored today by the city of Sanford. She has a wealth of community service, including 22 years as an educator. She continued on her education by supporting teachers, her fellow teachers. She's been involved with the retired educators for years, and I was invited to
Beta Chi.
give her a presentation, and I just wanted to share the poem I was asked to read. It is very short, and I think for all of our educators here today, especially, it will hit home. To laugh often and much, to win the respect of intelligent people and the affection of children, to leave the world a better place, to know even one life has breathed easier because you have lived, this is to have succeeded. And this is what you do as educators each and every day, by Ralph Waldo Emerson.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
You're not on, I don't think.
I thought I turned it. There we go. Well, I've had a busy 2 weeks as well. I just got back from the COSPA conference in Washington, D.C. I got back last night. And as you know, I was appointed co-chair of the Federal Advocacy Committee, and they're still going strong right now. They have been sending me pictures and text messages all day, but I had to be back for this. We met with the chair of the Federal Communications, FCC, Jessica Bosenweiler. She spoke about connectivity in our districts and how that districts are reporting to them at this point that now that the ESSER dollars have gone away, the rural districts, the underserved communities, they're struggling. We're back to square one because the grants and benefits have gone away. So they're looking at creative ways to supplement what districts are doing, including check out hotspots at libraries as an opportunity, at our school libraries as a possibility, buses. For those in rural districts, that doesn't really impact us so much, but to put Wi-Fi on the buses, and if you have an hour and a half long bus ride to school, you can work on homework during your bus ride to and fro. There are grants available. I think I sent it to Jamie already, Jamie Minetto. And they're looking at legislation to support the needs of we're not alone in some of our underserved areas. We heard from congressional staffers, Anna DeSario, she's the Education Policy Director of Senate Help, Claire Borsner, Senate Committee on Agriculture and Nutrition, and I'll swing back to that one. Lindsay Lenore's Legislative Director for Congresswoman of Letlow of Louisiana. Manuel Contreras, Senate Advisory for Bernie Sanders out of Vermont, and Mark Leish from Senator Tammy Baldwin out of Wisconsin. And I wanted to swing back. It seems unusual, the Senate Committee on Agriculture and Nutrition, but it will become an omnibus bill, which are some of our supplements. We all know the increase in our food costs. We're not being compensated from it, and our food costs have gone up by several $1 million, anticipated. So it will be interesting to follow those opportunities. And I also met Undersecretary of Cardona of the U.S. DOE, and slipped her a card and said, we're going to send an invitation to Secretary Cardona for our Latinos in Action when we do our youth summit, and hope it's far enough out that we can get him on our calendar. So I'm going to work with Ms. Cardona to see if we can't make that happen. Thank you.
Member Pennick?
Over the past couple weeks, we all got to attend the Administrative Professionals Annual Conference that Grace Gonzalez puts on, and I just want to thank her and her entire team for all the effort that she puts in to educate and show that group some love. It's always a great event, a meeting to attend. I also I volunteered with GROW this past week to help stock and fill playground equipment bags that they donate to our schools, and I hope that we can recognize them at a future board meeting. that was a lot of fun, and I would say the highlight was while we were packing, she got a call from an anonymous donor that made a $30,000 donation. All of that will go to soccer balls, but just simple stuff, tennis balls that these kids can learn to play. You learn through play, and so I had the honor of delivering to 2 of our schools. And when I was at Midway delivering, one of the teachers who was gifted one of the packets, her and her class just happened to be walking by, and the kiddos were so excited. I think it was maybe a 2nd grade class. They were so excited, they couldn't wait to play with it, and the teacher just about started to cry while we were standing there. That's how valuable these little kits are. Grow also donates shoes to kids who may show up with holes in them, mismatched, not the right size, and so such a valuable organization in our community to provide a service to. And then this morning, I attended the Seminole County Regional Chamber focus group on their 5-year strategic plan. So I represented this organization in another one that I'm involved with, and they're looking at kind of creating that really good document and plan that serves what the community needs and what we're looking for. So it was a good experience to provide feedback. That's all I have.
Thank you. Member Davis?
Well, we went through a lot of the things that were going on in the last couple of weeks. I want to look forward from here and remind you that with the holidays coming up in October, November, and December, our District World Languages Festival coming up, that all of these things that are talked about, most of them, of these activities and festivals, you can be a part of. And it's really nice when I can see the public and the community and the parents, festivals and events, because you get to see what our students are doing. A lot of times we have the flyers. I mean, it's just amazing how much they learn about things that are not completed in school and are on public view. And if you want to smile when you see kids participating in different activities and in different projects, you will know what Seminole County Public Schools are about. It's not just your everyday learning of math. I used to teach math, and that can get boring, but you have to make it as exciting as possible, because this is what our kids expect now. And by making it exciting and by having these various things that they can do off campus is a good motivation for their learning experience. So I encourage you to think about that as the months come forward. This is the time in the fall and the beginning of winter where there is much to see. And I encourage you to go out and see our students in action.
Thank you. With the GROW program, I just want you to know that I've been helping with that, and my car's filled with in the SUV. Member Pennick, thank you for picking up everything for me in Mount Dora. We've already spent over $38,000, not us, but that's how much in donations have come in, and I start delivering everything tomorrow. But it's hard for me to talk about this, but with Allie's Hope and Mental Health and Suicide Prevention Month, I'm angry. I'm angry about the families out there that aren't going to be able to see their loved ones. And I could share a lot of great things that are happening. We do have a lot of great things that are happening, and we are blessed. But I'm also thinking about those families out there right now that don't have that. And we'll never have those family members to speak to again. And I just want everybody to reflect on that. And remember, we take any threat seriously. And please help us and help our students, help our families, our faculty, everybody. It takes a village. It's one program, Allie's Hope. We had a presentation on it today. during our early open board discussion. Thank you for the ones that showed up for that. I appreciate when you come to those. And, you know, Allie's Hope is doing great. We have it hitting into 8 schools right now. We have quite a few students that are joining the mental health support. We will have our first event, Glassful of Hope, November 7th. And the money will be raised to help add more social workers to our schools. And it's all student-driven, as well as sponsors that we have that have dedicated extra time to do it. And I want to thank our administrators as well for helping us with this program and keeping it in our schools, because it's vital. It's vital for not just us, for the students, but for the faculty and for our families. And I also wanted to thank the foundation for doing their presentation earlier today. I appreciate what they did and shared what they do. And if you haven't had an opportunity, see all the wonderful things that our foundation, Jean Van Smith, and our chair, Brian Luke, everything that the committee does. I know we have so many wonderful team members that are here that have helped us with funding so many different programs, Tools for School, doing our, the different programs that we have implemented throughout, and there are so many to name. So check it out. There's a great business partner link there, and you can become a business partner, or you can just donate to whatever charitable organization you would like to. So there's plenty of opportunities within that. So we also have, our Night of Impact coming up, and I believe that's in October, isn't it? November 24th, I believe it is, maybe. That is one of our main events that we do, and we were debriefed on our state of the schools. Superintendent Beeman shared that with us, and so did the foundation. About 20%, it was sold out, and about 20% of that proceeds go back to the foundation, which then goes back to our schools, to our students, to Grants for Great Ideas. All these committees, Take Stock in Children, all these wonderful programs that we have embedded into our programs in our schools. And so we can't do it without them. So I wanted to thank them. I also wanted to take a moment to thank everyone that shared at our open board discussion today, the different topics that we had. Thank you for taking time to address those issues. A couple of the different ones, like Member Garrick had shared, we are looking over the, safe, supportive environment law and policy reference source, and getting information and reflecting back on it, and then revising it where everybody needs to, or they feel that needs to be revised. It's all state mandated. It is not anything that we're doing differently, but it's just a guide to help everybody and to make sure that we have those hyperlinks readily available for everyone. I don't know what I'm looking for. And I just wanted to say, thank you, Minnie Cardona and Superintendent Beeman, for sharing about the Student Success Express bus and what it's going to be doing the next few weeks. Actually, it's packed for, I think, the next month, I believe, is what you all said. So we have that on there, Allie's Hope. I can't remember. I do know that we have a lot going on with Asian Lantern Festivals getting ready in November, so that will be kicking off, and so many other things that will be taking place. But just keep everybody in your prayers too, and put life in perspective. And we try not to sweat the small stuff. So thank you. And with that, Superintendent, I believe it's your turn now.
I believe it's now time for public comments.
Yes, it is.
On agenda items.
That's right, on agenda items. All right.
Policy 0169.1. The purpose of the public participation segments of the board meeting is to allow the public to address matters within the board's jurisdiction and not to resolve individual grievances or disputes. Public comments related to education, the board agenda, and the district are welcome and encouraged, but public comment segments are not forums to engage in personal attacks against school system employees or board members. To maintain orderly conduct, The public comment segments of the meeting may not be used as open forums to discuss matters unrelated to education, to support or oppose candidates for public office, including presentation of political and/or campaign issues, announcing candidacy and/or campaigning, or to engage in commercial speech attempting to sell a service or product to the board or the public. Nor are they forums to address matters involving disciplinary actions of any kind, pending claims, complaints, or litigation against the district or district personnel. Public comment segments durations are as follows. Agenda items limited to 3 minutes. One group representative speaking on a proposition, a maximum of 6 minutes. The speaker must remain on topic for agenda item proposition. Non-agenda items will be limited to 2 minutes. Speakers shall direct their comments only to the board and may not address the audience or other speakers. No speaker may yield his or her time to any other person. Generally, substitutions of speakers will not be allowed. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And for agenda items, we have Mitchell Kraus. Thank you. Right here. The podium right there. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Chairperson. I rise once again to speak to this board about its progression plan. I implore this board to reject the amendments to the progression plan until it amends its progression plan to bring it into compliance with the Florida law and end the grave injustice done to dual enrollment students. The board's current progression plan continues to diminish the college credits earned by dual enrollment students in calculating their GPA. As this board has been told over and over again, a credit is a credit is a credit, whether for graduation purposes or for calculation of GPA. I cannot fathom that the board still refuses to correct its progression plan, even in the face of the Florida Department of Education ordering it to alter its progression plan to comply with Florida law on this issue. I can only conclude that it is this board's hubris that prevents it from seeing its error and altering the progression plan to comply with Florida law. I can only speculate that it will take the Florida Department of Education sanctioning Seminole County Public Schools to make this board alter its progression plan to comply with Florida law. Thank you.
Thank you. And that was the only one for agenda items that we had. So next, consent agenda. Are there any clarifications to the agenda? Superintendent? All right. So the consent agenda is there a motion or discussion?
The recommendation is that the consent agenda be approved as presented.
Motion.
Second.
All right. All those in, any question? Discussion, sorry. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? All right, motion passes unanimously. Thank you. And now it's time for superintendent's recommendation for discipline recommendations.
Yes, Chair, I have one recommendation, and it's that the School Board of Seminole County approve the student disciplinary recommendation from 8/26/2024.
Motion.
Second.
Any discussion? All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion carries. Thank you. Any unfinished business that anybody needs to discuss? All right. New business, superintendent's report.
Board members, my report is included in the book, and it's read-only, but I do have a couple of topics that I just want to make you aware of. One is that our very own Catherine Cernkovich is top 4 for the School CEO Excellence in School Marketing Award. She is a finalist. It's a nationwide award, but we know that
Who's
she
number one?
is absolutely the best. So just want to say, we have a national finalist in our midst. School CEO, school awardee for this year. And I also want to echo Member Garrick's comment as it relates to Ms. Duxbury, who is celebrating 103 years old. I am looking forward to thanking her personally at some point for the more than 70 years of service between her time as a teacher and then with the retired Seminole Education Association. And just wanted to say thank you to Sanford for making our former teacher, but always community advocate for education, naming her and naming a day for her here in the city of Sanford. So looking forward to that. Yeah.
Awesome.
Everything else is in the book.
Thank you so much. All right, and we have no monthly grant reports. I believe that's in read-only. Excuse me. I'm going to go ahead and do the Superintendent's 2024 Superintendent Evaluation Annual Evaluation Summary. This summary of Superintendent Sarita Beeman's 2023 evaluation in accordance with the terms of Ms. Beeman's contract as superintendent with the School Board of Seminole County, Florida. She is to be evaluated by each school board member annually to be completed no later than October 1st. Standard includes 5 to 7 professional practices, which are rated on a scale of unsatisfactory, which is 1 point, needs improvement, 2 points, effective, 3 points, highly effective, 4 points. Additionally, each board member has the opportunity to provide written comments related to each standard. The standards are rated as our business operations, standard 3, board governance and policy, standard 4, communication and community relations, standard 5, ethical leadership. The following is a summary of Ms. Beeman, or Superintendent Beeman's 2024 annual 2. For standard 2, Ms. Beeman scored an average of 3.73. For standard 3, Ms. Beeman scored an average of 3.64. Ms. Beeman scored an average of rating of a 3.80. Ms. Beeman's overall performance rating is a 3.65, which is highly effective. Per Ms. Beeman's contract, her employment is extended through June 30th, 2028. Congratulations. Thank you. And now it's time for committee updates before we do our public comments non-agenda. So these are committee updates.
Very good. Thank you very much, Chair.
You're welcome.
Are we good?
Yes.
Thank you. Coalition, both of those, I ended up having a conflict, but they are both available online. The Business Advisory Board meeting minutes, I'm happy to send out to you all. We are planning to continue on with breakfasts throughout the year, so those invitations should have gone out, and if not, I'll make sure that we get those. And if you have anybody that would like to come, and if you are a business owner or an employee at a business that you think might be interested in lending your talents and time, our board clerk, she listened in my stead, but she's got the link for us all, which it is available online. So thank you very much. Wanted to give a shout out to Ms. Mills and her community involvement team for all that they are doing out and about, living on our own. Plethora of dividend welcomes throughout the county at every single school. And for those of you who aren't familiar with the term dividend, that is the name of our volunteer organization. And again, there are many ways you can get involved, anywhere from a half an hour here and there to daily if you would like. So a huge thank you to Ms. Mills and her entire team for continuing to make sure that we have opportunities for engagement from our communities, teachers, faculty, parents. Also, when I was talking about PTA earlier, you can all join PTA. You can be able to be a more integral part of the work going on in Seminole County. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for that reminder. I've joined, I think, almost all the schools in my zone, and I encourage the board to do it as well. The Foundation Tools for Schools, the superintendent I attended They had an icebreaker that was very awkward. We had to film each other with a 30-second commercial about why our foundation is the best ever. So I have that as hidden evidence for, no, I'm just teasing. But it was a fun meeting. And their night of impact is October 26th. Yeah. So please mark your calendars. I'm sure that they would welcome your attendance and any and all of our guests as well.
Buy your tickets early. It gets
I know
sold out.
it gets sold out fast. The Science Center held their annual board retreat, a full day of science. It's always a fun time. And this Sunday, I'm looking forward to the Steinway Society is hosting their Diva Gala, and they'll have a live performance by Cece, who is Aretha. So the music should be fine. It's at the Orlando Museum of Art, and there are still a few tickets left. And thank you very much for the opportunity of attending the conference. I just wanted to say that. Thank you.
Thank you.
I have no committee reports.
Member Davis?
The Central Florida Public Schools Coalition is a collaboration here in Central Florida. But other than that, I had no other committee meetings in the last 2 or 3 weeks.
Thank you. You done? Or you want more? Member Davis, are you finished? Are you?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. There's been quite a few different committees going on. Same thing. I've had a pleasure of being at quite a few of the dividend breakfast and lunch meetings and listening to all the different things that we can do and the programs, being, past PTA president for over 7 years and seeing the commitment that many of our volunteers do between the RAP program and our, different, there's so many different programs that you can be involved in within the schools. Make sure you're registered as a dividend. If you want to go on field trips, you need to make sure you're registered every single year. I think I've mentioned this over and over again, or you will not get picked to be to go on a field trip. And we're able to, make sure that everything's done in the system. Once you have it done once, it's pretty easy to update it on a periodic, every year basis. So with that, also the Central Florida Zoo, we have our meeting tomorrow night, but we also have our annual meeting tomorrow night, which is open to the public and to our donors that donate quite a bit of money to the Central Florida Zoological Society. The annual meeting starts at 6 p.m. at the zoo in our Wayne Dench Performing Building. So we will hold that after our general meeting with the Board of Trustees, and then we'll go right into that. And with that, there's been so many different events within Tools for Teaching. We have the Wayne Dench this weekend. I sit on the education board. And in Sanford, we will actually have not a play this time, but we will have there's no movie, but it's a basic box office movie called the Super Pets, and that is on the 13th. So that is at the Ritz Theater in Sanford, and anybody can go. It's a league of the Super Pets. And my FSBA, Florida School Board Association, things start next week, where I'll be attending legislative updates on that. And I need everybody to pay attention to the legislative updates, as well as if you are a PTA member, or if you're not, go on to pta.org and look at some of the links there that you could send out and forward to others, pta.org. And be a part of the solution and help us with any kind of issues that may be arising, and you check it out and see all the different things. But like the members, our school board members have said, there are numerous opportunities and numerous ways to become a PTA member, but you can also help us with some of the different acts and different things that are taking place in our country and in our schools by being actively involved. And with that, I don't have any further updates for anything else. So we're going to go ahead and do our public comments for non-agenda items. And I have quite a few. And please remember to speak to the board and speak to us in a non-threatening way, please. I would really greatly appreciate that. So the first one is Captain Samuel Murray. Thank you. And then after that would be David White. You can line up afterwards. And then Katie Murphy. Thank you, Captain.
Good evening, Superintendent. Good evening, Superintendent Beeman, ladies of the board. My name is Captain Samuel Murad. I'm the commander of U.S. Army recruiting in Orlando. In that role, I cover Orange County, I cover Seminole County and Lake County. But I'm addressing you this evening on behalf of all military services. I'm requesting that you consider a minor change to the policy manual, specifically where it deals with directory information. It currently reads, U.S. Armed Forces recruiting officials, secondary students only as required by federal law, limited to name, address, and telephone listing. The key point there being school isn't on there. We are given lists of student information that includes their address, their telephone number, and their name. But it's the school that our recruiters are at. It's the schools that allow us to help make that organic relationship with our students. We understand not everyone's called to serve, but the students that are, it's a chance to develop a career that leads to a pension, a chance to develop generational wealth. I think that as far as a matter of import, it's a matter of degrees, but even those 20% of students who might have otherwise been served, by simply making this minor change to the way directory information is distributed to the military services, could have an outsized impact on the hundreds of students that join the military out of Seminole County. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Appreciate it. David White. And then after that, Katie Murphy. And then, is it Emer Roy? Did I say that right? Thank you.
Hi.
Good evening.
Good evening. Tonight I want to highlight a critical issue that has been ignored for far too long, the lack of adequate resources and support for our special needs students in Seminole County schools. It's evident that our current approach is failing these students, treating state minimums as the highest standard and disregarding the real impact this has on their education and their families. Special needs students deserve far more than the bare minimum. They should have every opportunity to excel academically, socially, and emotionally. However, in Seminole County, the district's approach seemed to be settling for the lowest possible standards, denying these students the chances they truly deserve. This lack of support does more than just fail the students. It impacts their families as well. They trust you to provide their children with a quality education, but the current shortfall in resources creates a cycle of frustration, missed opportunities, and unmet needs. This situation not only shows a disregard for the outcomes these students face, but also places undue strain on their families who are left fighting for the support their children need and deserve. We as a community cannot continue to ignore these challenges. It is our moral responsibility to ensure that special needs students receive the resources and care they need to thrive. By investing in their education and well-being, we invest in a brighter future for our entire community. The families of Seminole County are looking for you to correct this issue. If you can't address these needs, then it's time for those who are committed to advocating for all of our students' futures to step forward and lead. Our children deserve better. Thank you.
Thank you. Katie Murphy. After Katie Murphy, we have Amur and then Salvatore Vieira. So you can line up for that. And then Lynn Van Horn. Go ahead, Katie Murphy. Thank you.
Thank you. Katie Murphy, retired teacher from Seminole County. Superintendent Beeman and our wonderful school board, chair, vice chair, and members. The pain of the school shooting is resonating throughout the country once again. I know that our school system, our SROs, our Sheriff's Office, Police Department, Moms Demand Action, League of Women Voters, PTA, and more are working hard for gun violence prevention through advocacy, education, and providing ready access to free gun locks. But there are so many more ways that we need to protect our students, family, and staff. I want to thank the school board members for being actively involved in learning about our students and supporting all of our students with their specific needs. Whether the students are in a supportive family with the means to smooth their pathway, or as an unaccompanied minor struggling to find a safe place to sleep and food to eat, a student who struggles with reading, or an honor student in dual enrollment. Whether the student is in an international baccalaureate program or receiving accommodations to meet their goals, a student headed to college, career, enlistment, or a student who excels in sports, arts, academics, or one who just struggles to make it through the day, SCPS has stepped forward with creative, innovative, and caring ways to meet these needs. But there are those who face daily the trauma and discrimination, harassment, bullying, assault, and the fear of not being safe or even being able to safely use the bathroom. I'm thanking you today for the work you've done on starting our safety procedures, and I hope that we do not delay in producing this guide, making sure that our county is not widening the restrictions for our LGBTQ community beyond the current state rules. I've been in rooms with you when we learned about ways to be more proactive, and I know that when we have this written document, that we will be secure in knowing that what we can legally do to be caring and supportive of all of our community. I'm here to help you in any way you need with that. Thank you.
Thank you. Like a teacher, perfect, right on that 2-minute mark.
Hi, I'm Emer Roy, and I'm here just to speak to you as a private individual, as a parent, and as a community organizer. I want to acknowledge that today you took a step forward with the LGBTQ plus safety guide. This guide will save lives. You talked there about threats. LGBTQ plus students have always been under more threats, but with the recent overreach of the state, it has become critical. And I've been in other counties in Central Florida where students have been lost. And I've sat in kitchens where parents literally have had exit strategies to get their kids to safety if the state comes to the door. Where we're at right now is the state are knocking on the doors and they're overreaching quite a lot. So I want to say to the students as well that the process works well. The families elect the board then oversee superintendents and council, and then operations run from there. So today was a good example of acknowledging this is what families want, this is what families need, and recognizing that LGBTQ plus kids have more risks, and now being excluded from books and everything else has become more critical to get books back on the shelves. Somebody earlier on mentioned the hierarchy of needs, and I was really relieved, and I wanted to thank them for mentioning that, because of course at the top of the hierarchy of needs is self-actualization. And self-actualization in Florida is under attack. People are not allowed to be themselves. And that's why it's really critical that hopefully by Monday that a guide is out there, that it helps everybody, it helps educators. And it also, if this is a situation where educators can't support,
thank you very much.
That the school will.
Your time has expired.
Thank you. And if you have anything that you want to continue adding, you can give it to our clerk, Jill Moramus, and she will get it to us.
Thanks.
Thank you so much. After Salvador, I'm going to go ahead and have Lynn, Ray McClory's after that. After Ray is Fiona Shannon. We'll go from there. Good evening, Salvador.
Good evening, board members, Superintendent Beeman, and Attorney Palmer. Thank you for taking time to listen to us. My name is Salvatore Vieira. I am the statewide volunteer manager with Equality Florida and a proud Seminole County resident. I want to start by thanking the board members. It has come to my attention that this afternoon at the workshop, there was movement on written guidance for LGBTQ plus students, staff, and parents. I'm very eager to see the guidance completed so that Seminole County District staff, students, and parents have clear guidance on how to navigate their lives and work within the scope of the law, which has been clearly settled by the state. I do want to note, if the guide is called Safe and Supportive Environment Law and Reference Guide, and this guide is intended to protect LGBTQ+ students and staff, then you cannot be afraid to say LGBTQ. You can't be afraid to say it within the document, and can't be afraid to say it when you are referencing this document from the dais. People are afraid, and so the clarity helps, but we need you all to speak confidently about our LGBTQ+ students, parents, and families too. As a young Florida public school student, I had zero resources, and I'm still dealing with some of those repercussions today. For the little Sal in Seminole County Public Schools who is confused and scared today, these guides will be a lifesaver, and that's why we get into public service, to help all, to serve all. So once again, thank you for hearing us and for moving on written guidance to address the following: that Florida law does not ban a teacher from respecting a parent's request to have their child's affirmed name and pronouns used at school. New laws impact a transgender student's ability to use the bathroom affirming to their gender identity, leaving unisex restrooms as their only opportunity, so we must expand the number of single-use bathrooms in schools. Florida law does not ban rainbow stickers, buttons, pins, posters, or flags. GSAs are student-led and student-initiated clubs permitted in schools. Florida law does not prevent LGBTQ teachers.
Thank you. Your time has
Thank you
expired.
very much.
You may leave any
Salvador,
information
if you want
with
to
the
add
clerk.
anything else, please feel free to forward it over to Ms. Moramis. We appreciate you. Thank you.
Sure, thank you.
After Lynn, we have Ray McClory, and then Fiona Shannon. After Fiona is Samoa. But I don't know how to say your last name. Budahama? Thank you. So is Lynn? Lynn? Yes. Lynn Valentorhorn? Thank you. There you are. And then after Lynn would be Ray McClory. Lynn? Are you Lynn? Is there a Lynn here? Okay, we'll move on. Ray, you're next. So Lynn Van Horn is not here. Okay, just double checking. Thank you. All right, Mr. McClory, you're ready.
All right, school board members, Superintendent Bremen, I'm Ray McClory, 25-year resident of Seminole County. I had a totally different speech prepared to urge you to write a guide to outline the rules for the LGBTQ community, and that it sounds like you've already taken that step and started that process today, and I want to thank you for doing that and being proactive. And just to note that just so you know, there's been a lot of confusion about what is allowed and what is not allowed throughout our schools, and this has caused great stress to a lot of our staff, and particularly with the staff that works with students. And this guide will help reduce the stress of those employees, and we all know that they have enough stress already. The less stress they have, the better. Plus, it's going to make things a lot safer for LGBTQ students, and with everybody knowing what they can and can't do. And some of the things that Sal mentioned before, what they can do is allowed to use their affirmed names, their pronouns, the unisex restrooms, rainbow symbols, gay-straight alliances, and so forth. Thank you again for taking this action.
Thank you. Fiona Shannon?
Good evening, Superintendent Beeman and school board members. Today, September 10th, is World Suicide Prevention Day. In our country, we lose 120 people per day to gun violence, almost 2/3 of those to suicide. Firearms are by far the most lethal suicide method. Reducing access to guns reduces the overall rate of suicide. Safe storage and other common sense measures to limit access to guns by depressed or otherwise emotionally challenged people will substantially reduce the nation's suicide rate. 75% of youth firearm suicides in which the gun storage method was identified, the gun was stored, loaded, and unlocked. According to Everytown Research and Policy, more than 4.6 million children in the U.S. live in a home with at least one loaded and unlocked gun. Firearms are the leading cause of death for U.S. children and teens. Keeping guns locked and unloaded can reduce the risk of unintentional shooting deaths and gun suicides among youth by 73%. These are preventable deaths. We also know that 75% of school shooters acquired their gun from the home of a parent or close relative. In nearly half of the shootings, the firearm was easily accessible or was not stored safely and securely. As we know, last week in Georgia, 2 students and 2 teachers were killed in a school shooting, plus numerous, hundreds probably of people also affected by those shootings. The shooter was 14 years old. The gun came from the home, a gift from his parents. Georgia has extremely weak gun laws. These were preventable deaths. School shootings are on the rise in the U.S. Seminole County Public Schools have worked to educate our families on the importance of safe storage of firearms, separate from ammunition. The information is currently on SCPS's website, but we can do more. We must continue to remain vigilant. We must continue to invest in the safety of our children.
Thank you. Your time has expired.
Thank you so much. After Selma, Claudia Hernandez Cruz, and then Vasundara, I think, and then Joshua Marlon. Go ahead, hon.
Good afternoon, members. My name is Somya Bodnapu, and I am a senior at Seminole High School here on behalf of the Ruth Project. Today, I am here to advocate for Seminole County students who are survivors of sexual assault or harassment. A survey conducted at a high school in Connecticut found that 78% of students reported experiencing at least one incident of sexual harassment since starting high school. This isn't an isolated statistic. This is a testament to the prevalence of sexual harassment in schools across the nation. Each person behind these numbers could be your daughter, your sister, your niece. But even if you don't know a survivor of sexual harassment, we all have an imperative to act. We are very grateful to the Title IX coordinator and the school board for hearing our previous concerns and creating Title IX flyers with QR codes, linking students to information. However, as we have pushed for on multiple occasions, we still need those flyers to be placed inside of bathrooms so they can be accessed safely by students wishing to report, rather than only out in school hallways for everyone to see. Furthermore, students should not have to navigate a chain of links and websites to have a proper understanding of what to do if they experience sexual assault or harassment. Once again, we call for the implementation of a Title IX flowchart, as published by other counties, which clearly outlines who students can go to, who those people report to, and how their needs are properly taken care of. It is also vital that teachers, the authority figures responsible for students, feel uplifted and supported throughout the entire process. Making a Title IX violation can be nerve-wracking, and it's the county's job to reinforce that to teachers that they are protected through the reporting process and through not just interactive and impactful seminars, but also in-person seminars, not just online videos and quizzes. It is urgent that we make Title IX and its relevance to school as congestible as possible for students, parents, and teachers. And it is our responsibility to ensure that SCPS takes the steps to do so. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Claudia, right? Okay.
Good evening. My name is Claudia Hernandez Cruz, and I am a senior at Seminole High School. I'm here today to ask the school district to take immediate action to improve Title IX education for students and respond to sexual harassment issues. Students should not tolerate inappropriate behavior at school. Instead, students who sexually harass their peers should receive appropriate action from the school administration. To engage in the Title IX process of reporting sexual harassment, however, students need to know what Title IX is and what sexual harassment resources are available in the first place. Title IX mandates schools to provide investigations of sexual harassment that are timely, confidential, and end in a proposed series of resolutions. Some resolutions might include ensuring that students who have been sexually harassed are never in the same class as their harasser for their own safety. Most students have never heard of Title IX and are unaware that there are resources available on all campuses to respond to sexual harassment issues. We are asking for informational posters in private areas such as restrooms, informational sessions, and increased staff awareness of Title IX to respond to this issue. Students and staff should also understand that the full range of behaviors that entail sexual harassment, which includes catcalling, groping, verbal harassment, sexual assault, and unwelcome sexual advances, among other actions. When these actions occur, students who report the action should be referred to their school Title IX coordinator, who should be able to explain the Title IX process and provide the student with resources. Please take action to ensure these recommendations are met. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Nasaduma. And then after that will be Joshua. After Joshua is Rashida. Is that right?
Hello, my name is Vasundhara Muralidharan, and I am a senior at Seminole High School. First, I would like to show our appreciation for the time we have spent addressing the issue of sexual harassment in our schools. We are glad to see the new provisions being made to better educate students and raise awareness on the epidemic of sexual harassment. Although I am pleased to see these changes, there is still a long way to go. There is a culture of sexual harassment in our schools, which can only be combated by a more proactive education method for students and staff. Schools should be giving lessons to students on the importance of consent and the importance of boundaries. This education will not only empower students with the knowledge and skills to stand up for themselves, but also help foster a new culture of respect and understanding. Staff should be receiving more comprehensive training as well. Faculty members should play a pivotal role in combating sexual harassment at schools. Educators should have a more comprehensive education on Title IX and sexual harassment. This education should include what sexual harassment is, the signs to look out for, the protection they receive when they make a report, and emphasize their obligation to report. The epidemic of sexual harassment in our schools is one that can be alleviated. Just like the education students and staff receive on bullying, the same degree of emphasis should be placed on sexual harassment and assault to make schools a safer learning environment for its students. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Joshua. After Joshua, Rashida. Then Girth, Remy, and then Winnie Zong.
Hello? Hello? Hello?
Hi, yes.
Good evening, members of the school board. My name is Joshua Mariano, and I'm a senior at Seminole High School. I'm here to speak to you today about survivors of sexual assault and sexual harassment. In 2021, 11% of high schoolers were sexually coerced during the past year. Feminine students were more likely than male presenting students to experience sexual violence by anyone, and a lot of the time, these experiences can occur on school grounds. Signed into law as part of the Civil Rights Act in 1971, Title IX works to ensure gender equity in educational settings and serves as one of the only federal protections students have against sexual harassment in schools. Seminole County Public Schools have the responsibility to ensure that all survivors have direct access to and knowledge of the support system available to them after the traumatic experiences of harassment and assault. While SCPS has made progress by mandating Title IX training to all staff, it is incredibly important that the training they do undergo is interactive and clearly outlines what their responsibilities are and how they are protected when making a report. If we want to ensure that our students are protected in their classrooms, we have to properly equip the teachers tasked with that responsibility with the information and reassurance they need to make Title IX reports in the event that a student is sexually assaulted or harassed. Every SCPS student deserves the right to feel safe on their campus, and improving policies to make Title IX comprehensible for students and teachers is another step towards that goal. Thank you.
Thank you. Ida?
Good evening, members of the school board. My name is Rashita Majaretti, and I am a junior at Seminole High School. I'm here today to speak to you on behalf of the students in Seminole County Public Schools who are survivors of sexual assault and sexual harassment. According to the Center for Disease Control, weak laws and policies related to sexual violence and gender equity and lack of institutional support in communities are one of the many risk factors linked to a greater likelihood of sexual violence perpetration. Sexual harassment and assault are a serious epidemic both around the world and within SCPS. Mitigating it effectively requires constant support and progress from the institutions above students that are responsible to protect them. I want to thank the members of our school board for their dedication to supporting student survivors by adding Title IX language to our Student Code of Conduct and removal of discriminatory phrasing in the Title IX report form. However, I'm here today to ask SCPS to reaffirm their commitment to supporting students who have experience with sexual assault or harassment on campus by ensuring that all schools have clearly enumerated Title IX policies posted on flyers and bathrooms. Additionally, creating Title IX trainings for students about what Title IX is and how it applies to them is imperative, as many students do not know how to access the Student Code of Conduct for that information. Students have to be empowered to understand where to go if they are sexually harassed, and SCPS needs to step up and clearly provide this critical information. In informing students clearly about what Title IX is and how it protects them to eliminate risk factors for sexual violence in our schools, SCPS would make it evident to all students, parents, and teachers that sexual assault and harassment have no place in the classroom. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. After Kurt, we have Winnie, and then after that will be Sharinika, and then Saharsha, and then Shelly Cordazo.
Hi, my name is Kirti Ravuri, and I'm a junior at Seminole High School. First, I would like to thank all of you for giving me the opportunity to speak in front of you today through public comment. Today, I'm here to talk about the epidemic of sexual harassment and assault in our school district. According to a study by the United States Department of Health and Human Services, every 68 seconds an American is sexually assaulted, and every 9 minutes that victim is a child. When students get sexually harassed, they experience real trauma. Though this issue has become more and more talked about, so many are desensitized to it, as they all see are a bunch of numbers and statistics, not actual people going through real painful experiences. It is crucial that the district informs all of its students who their Title IX coordinator is, how to contact them, how Title IX applies to them, and what the Title IX coordinators can do to help them. We are grateful that the Seminole County website has Title IX information available to students, but once again, we strongly emphasize the need for this information to be accessible through flyers and bathrooms, so students can access this information safely. The change to sexual harassment policies I'm asking for today could, with proper enforcement, go far in helping students who have experienced sexual harassment or assault, or will experience this in future, feel more safe and supported at school. Today, I'm here to speak for those who have been silenced, to urge you to expand Title IX accessibility for students across Seminole County, and to spread awareness and education among teachers to mitigate the epidemic of sexual harassment and or assaults in school. Thank you.
Thank you. Right. Are you Winnie? Okay, go ahead. Thank you.
Good evening, members of the respective school board. My name is Winnie Zhang, and I am a junior at Seminole High School. Today, I'm here with the Root Project to advocate for students who are survivors of sexual assault or harassment in the Seminole County School District. I am here because I have witnessed the horrors of sexual harassment through the internet and various social media platforms. And I want to do whatever it takes to prevent sexual assault and harassment from occurring in our county. Students in Seminole County have reported groping in class, threats of rape, and catcalling at school with little response from the district administration. When students get sexually harassed and or assaulted, they experience real trauma, real pain. It's crucial that our school district informs students who their Title IX coordinator is, what Title IX is, how it applies to them, and how their Title IX coordinator can help them. In addition, students must have accurate and accessible sexual harassment education so that they are aware of where to seek help if they are sexually harassed. A 12-year-old student who has been sexually harassed may not even be aware that what they have experienced is equivalent to sexual harassment. For those who do know that they've been sexually harassed, they typically do not know what Title IX is. Most students don't know who their Title IX coordinator is and may be afraid to come forward to their coordinator if it is the very same school principal they see every day. This district has inadequate Title IX accessibility to students, and this needs to change. It is students It is not only about fulfilling a legal requirement, but also about ensuring that student survivors are supported, empowered, and believed in. We need to ensure that Title IX education is expanded to all ages, adapted based on grade levels to be impactful but still appropriate for students consuming it. We must expand Title IX accessibility to students across the school district. Thank you.
Thank you. Right. Saharasha. And then after that, Shelley Hudaza, and then Jen Simmons, and then Jamie Gold.
Good evening, members of the school board. My name is Shrenika Wankede, and I am a junior at Seminole High School. I am here today to speak to you on behalf of the students in Seminole County Public Schools who are survivors of sexual assault and sexual harassment. Sexual assault and sexual harassment is a serious epidemic, both around the world and within SCPS. 50% of girls and 56% of boys in grades 7 to 12 have experienced some form of sexual harassment, and in some instances, these experiences happen in schools. We have received reports of SCPS students being sexually harassed in classes by their peers, on school bus transportation, and online by the very peers they have to sit next to in classes. Seminole County Public Schools has a legal imperative to ensure that all survivors have direct access to and knowledge of the support system available to them after the traumatic experience of harassment or assault. While SCPS has made progress by mandating Title IX training to all staff, having resources like a Title IX report flowchart would allow students to have many safe adults to make reports to. Currently, multiple neighboring counties have Title IX report flowcharts, which are crucial in outlining a clear chain of communication for anyone making a Title IX report to follow. For many students, these flowcharts would aid in mitigating the fear that comes from these experiences and would help the efficiency of Title IX reports in schools. We need to focus on making information as accessible as possible for students who have experienced sexual assault or harassment and want to take action to protect themselves immediately. They should not have to go through a chain of links and confusing websites to understand exactly what they can do. It is our job to make that information as clear as possible for them. Every SCPS student deserves the right to feel protected and uplifted on their campus, and implementing policies to make Title IX directly accessible to students and parents is a step towards creating equity in our classrooms. Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Sahasra Vemula, and I'm a junior at Seminole High School. I'm here speaking on behalf of the Ruth Project. I'm here today to advocate for the survivors of sexual harassment and assault in Seminole County. The lack of education and conversation about sexual harassment has made many survivors feel uncomfortable in approaching school officials, especially since many students don't know what Title IX is to begin with. They deserve the right to feel safe at school, but without measures to educate the student body on how to prevent harassment or knowledge of who to contact if a situation occurs, student survivors are left without appropriate support from the school district. We need better educational resources about what sexual harassment in Title IX, and in order to do so, we need to expand the existing Title IX lessons for teachers to fully outline their rights and responsibilities when they observe a Title IX violation in the classroom. School staff should be trained on how to react if a student reports sexual harassment and should be non-accusatory, empathetic, and understanding. Students need to be educated on who their Title IX coordinator is and where to find them, so they know who to contact if they have experienced sexual harassment or gender discrimination. All schools are required to have a Title IX coordinator. Sexual harassment remains a serious epidemic in our community, and it can range from catcalling to physical assault, and it's easier to find a woman who has been sexually harassed than a woman who hasn't. By improving Title IX education and accessibility, Seminole County has the opportunity to transform the experiences of students in genuine need of Title IX support, allowing countless students to feel more protected in their schools. We ask Seminole County to help us make our schools a more supportive environment for survivors of sexual harassment. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it. After Shelley, we have Jen Simmons. After that, Jamie Gold. After Jamie, Jenna Rembaum and Jessica Tillman, and then Leslie Kirschenbaum.
Hi.
Good afternoon. Thank you, school board and Superintendent Beeman, for giving us this chance to speak. I just want to take a second to thank all of the students that came out to speak about sexual assault. As a sexual assault survivor, I don't think people realize how important it is and how much it impacts you, especially at the age that you are all at. So thank you very much. I know it was not easy to get up here and doing what you're doing. It definitely is helping your peers, so thank you. I don't even know if I said my name. My name's Shelly Pedraza. Sorry, I got all emotional. My name's Shelly Pedraza. I'm a mom, obviously, because I'm like over here worried about the kids. But I'm also a huge advocate, and I want to thank the board and superintendent for the work session earlier today. It shows that you have been taking the feedback from our families, our students, and our teachers seriously. So I really just want to thank you all for taking that feedback and doing the work to making sure that you get it right, to make sure that all of our kids feel loved and supported. So thank you.
Thank you. Jen? Oh, yeah, Shelley, go ahead.
Jen wants you to just read her stuff. She doesn't want to speak.
So she wants us, she just has in the support? Okay, thank you. I'll put that to the side. Jamie? After Jamie is Jenna, and then after Jenna, Jessica Tillman, and Leslie Kirschenbaum. Go ahead, Jamie.
Okay. Can you hear it? Can you hear me? Okay. Thank you for allowing me the opportunity to speak with you today. My name is Jamie Gold. I've been a resident of Seminole County for 23 years. My husband and my 2 children are all the products of Seminole County Public School System. My oldest, a member of the LGBTQ plus community, graduated last year and is a freshman at UCF. My daughter is currently a junior at a Seminole County Public High School. I come here today not to complain, but to commend the faculty and administration at my children's high school for creating a safe environment for my child to feel heard and seen, and to be able to absolutely flourish through their 4-year tenure in high school. From teachers creating safe spaces in their classrooms, to the administration using correct pronouns, we had nothing but a positive experience. Unfortunately, this is not the case at every school in Seminole County, and because of this, it is necessary to create uniform guidelines to protect the rights of LGBTQ teachers, students, and parents in Seminole County. In the last year, 11 other school districts across the state have published clear written guidance to support their LGBTQ community, and now it is Seminole County's turn. I thank you for recognizing that this is an urgent matter and for beginning discussions regarding these guidelines earlier today. Now I beg that you make sure the guidelines are accessible, easy to consume, and written with LGBTQ plus people in mind to ensure safe and appropriate language. LGBTQ plus youth are 4 times more likely to attempt suicide than their peers. We can narrow that gap by creating a safe space and ensuring that they are seen and heard in schools. Because I'm sure most parents in Seminole County would agree, it's better to have a gay kid than a dead kid. Thank you.
Thank you. Jenna?
Thank you. Good evening. My name is Jenna Rembaum, and I'm a Seminole County resident and educator in training. I'm here on behalf of myself to thank the Seminole County School Board for beginning to create written guidelines and protections for its students, although I noticed that there was no mention made of protections for LGBTQ plus students and staff, which I would like to emphasize as being of the utmost importance. As this process continues to move forward, I'm excited to see what I hope will be an accessible, easy-to-consume guide made with the needs of LGBTQ plus people in mind, if not making us a part of the process. We are here, and we want you to show us that you're thinking of us. As the chair mentioned the importance of mental health only moments ago, I strongly ask that you think of our mental and physical health as well. All of my life, I've been a straight-A student. When I was in middle school, I competed nationally with the Academic Games League of America and placed second twice with my team. I graduated summa cum laude from high school as an international baccalaureate, and have since gone on to be a member of my university's honor society. But regardless of everything that I have achieved and everything I have done, none of these things will ever matter in this state more than who I love. To be an educator is to give yourself wholly to the students you teach. With this in mind, I've highlighted a few points I wish to emphasize. As per the state's settlement on the Don't Say Gay LGBTQ+ law, Florida statutes do not ban teachers from respecting a parent's request to have their child's affirmed name and pronoun used in schools. They also don't ban pins with rainbows on them or posters or badges, nor do they ban Gay Straight Alliance clubs. As an LGBTQ+ educator myself, I'm afraid for a future where if I mention my family, it could cost me my job. I am already afraid because I know teachers whose jobs it has cost, and I'm only 21. I haven't had the chance to have my own home or fall in love. I want to be able to do those things without fear. I want to be able to go to work in my school, in my district, without being afraid. I want to live in a world where when people look at me, they see me, not as a matter of politics, but as a human being. Thank you.
Thank you. Jessica Tillman, and then Leslie Kirschenbaum.
Good evening. My name is Jessica Tillman. A few things. I want to say thank you to the board for approving the pocket constitutions for a third year in a row. I'm excited to deliver those to our 8th graders. I'm very excited to say that we also started Living on Our Own this month, and it's an amazing program, and I can't get enough of it. So I'm really excited to get involved in that program again. I'm also a mentor, so I'm really excited to see where my mentee has been all summer and get back involved with her. And I would like to say that I support more information on Title IX for girls in their bathrooms. That is a safe space for them to get information without being looked at for just wanting more information. So that is something that we would love to see also. I am a little disappointed that the Lake Brantley parents did not get more notice about the threat on campus today. It would have really been great for parental rights to have them make the choice to send their kid to school or not. And it just one more hour would have been a completely different situation instead of having parents on campus like really upset because they didn't even know when they dropped their student off. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, ladies. My name is Leslie Kirschenbaum. I'm a Seminole County resident. I'm here to talk about school safety. I'm a mom of the Lake Brantley School, and the incident was mentioned last night. The threat was discussed to our school, and they decided to notify us at 7:14 a.m. today. You had an influx of hundreds of parents. It was chaotic, picking their children up around 8, 9 o'clock in the morning. I feel that could have been prevented with giving us a heads up the night before, letting us know. It's not the first time that Lake Brantley has failed to notify parents of issues and violence threats that they received. I know that it was deemed non-credible. However, the choice as a parent was taken away from us. There were many kids already dropped off. And there was just a big issue today that I feel like it could have been avoided with all those parents upset and angry and cursing and yelling at the admins this morning. I'm waving a white flag here. I would like to work with other organizations to come up with a solution for safety for our children. I know there is a program that is implemented in 53 counties. I believe it's called the Guardian Program. I'm not too versed on it. I spoke with a couple admins from Orange County, and so far they have nothing but great things to say about it. You know, as far as writing your legislators and going to Tallahassee, that was done. That was done in 2018 when the school shooting happened, where 17 lives were taken. And this Guardian program was implemented right after that shooting. I don't know what it's going to take for us. I would like to prevent a school shooting, but if we can work together to actually come up with a solution, I would like that. Bipartisan, you know, truce or something. Thank you, guys. Have a great day.
Thank you. Is there any other discussion or anything else that anybody else would like to say? Vice Chair Krause?
I, too, would like to thank all of the students for coming out. Public speaking is not easy, and you are clearly passionate, and I will heed your message. We worked on we worked on the LGBTQ safe guide, safe and supportive guide today, and I feel like this might be an appropriate place to add some language for Title IX and processes.
In there.
Okay. So thank you all very much. We will take your message and move forward with it.
Right, and when we were talking earlier today, making sure it's easily accessible for everybody with the hyperlinks and so on and so forth, so everybody can get to those spots immediately. We're trying to create QR codes to many of the different manuals and different things and implement them throughout the district so everybody can get to sites as fast as they can. I'd like to also thank you for advocating and speaking up as well. And to anybody else that was speaking to, thank you for your respect and speaking to us in a polite, professional way. That always means the world to us. And I know that, all of us are going through different things in our lives, but please keep in mind about the safety, and this being Suicide Prevention Month, Hispanic Heritage Month. There's so many different things that are going on. Get involved, and thank you for your voices. Is there any other comments? All right. If there's no further comments, then this meeting is adjourned at 7:22. Thank you so much. Have a great evening.